Hello pumpkins, my name is Mistic and welcome to Mistic Reacts. Today I'm watching another USA video. The biggest mistakes tourists make in the USA. For starters, coming here. Second, coming here. You don't want to be here, trust us. It's not a good time to visit the States. If you're new here, like, comment, and subscribe, and listen to the video. Well, for reference of my credentials, I am a Southerner, born and raised.
There's Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here at Mount Rushmore, and today we're going to talk about some of the little mistakes that tourists
Never
make
been there.
when they come to the U.S. And the first mistake is getting upset when the Americans count continents a little bit differently. Here in the U.S., we have 7 continents: North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Antarctica, and Australia. And the thing is, other places around the world, sometimes they combine North America and South America into...
How does that work? How do they have different classifications for continents? Isn't a continent a pretty, like, non-debatable thing? How are you combining it? Huh? I feel like that's kind of... I thought we all agreed on that. 4 and 8.
The Americas, and they only have 6. So don't get upset if we count a little bit differently here in the U.S., all right? Now, let's see some more of this beautiful country to talk about some of the other mistakes you might see. So now we're here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and my next mistake that I see tourists make when they come to the U.S.
Have I been to Wyoming? Maybe.
Is thinking that no one will understand them when they talk smack in a foreign language. Look, you can talk smack in German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese.
Here's the thing about Americans. It doesn't matter what you say. They will just assume you're talking shit. Here's how it goes. Either one, they think you're talking shit, or they think you're talking about doing crime if you're speaking in another language. At least in the South, that's pretty much how it always goes in a Southerner's head. Either you're talking shit, or you're going to commit a crime. That's basically how they think. I don't know what his logic is, but that's kind of how I've seen it.
Chinese, whatever, and you may think no one's going to understand you, but you'll be surprised how many people actually will understand you, okay?
No, they
won't.
won't.
I've been on trips. I remember we were in New Orleans. My buddy and I were sitting there, and these 2 guys were talking about these girls. They were speaking German, and they were talking about these 2 cute girls up there, and the 2 girls turn around, and they're like, we had German in college, and they're like, oh my goodness. It was pretty funny. So don't think you can go around and talking smack in Italian or Portuguese or Japanese or whatever, and you won't have a local be like, dude, we understand what you're saying. Now, I'm not saying everybody will understand, but don't think it's going to be a secret.
They probably won't. What year was this? 2020. That explains it. Everyone was learning something. They were bored during COVID. That makes sense.
Language, just in case, all right? Now, another mistake I see tourists make when they come is they get really upset when people...
Is it in Spanish? Why are my subtitles in French? What? English. Why did they go to French? What?
But don't think it's going to be
also,
a secret
why are they just
language,
not working?
Just in case, all right? Now, another mistake I see tourists make when they come is they get really upset when people ask for their ID when they buy alcohol or cigarettes. Look, you don't, I know, and lots of places around the world, you never have to show an ID. If you look like you're older than 15, they're like, sure, you can buy that. In the U.S., that's not the way. The reason why they're so strict with it, if they get caught selling without asking for ID, or they sell to someone that's underage, they can get a really big fine, and people don't want to pay that fine. So it's just, hey, look, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to get a ticket. Can I just see your ID? And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They could ask the ID for the person with them, okay? So have your passport with you. Have an ID with you that shows your age. If you're going to be buying alcohol or cigarettes, even if you look like an old fart like me, sometimes I have to show my ID still, okay? So take it as a positive. You just look really young, okay? And when you're talking to those locals, another mistake I see tourists make is they don't ask the locals for advice. Look, when you're in the U.S., we're very gregarious people. We like to talk.
No, we don't. No, we don't. every Southerner I've met is always in a rush. They don't want to listen to some random foreigner ask questions. They don't. Okay.
We like to share. We like to tell
2020.
you, oh, this is the greatest place to get this. The best steaks down the road here. But if you're going to get Rocky Mountain oysters, they've got them right there at the Albany. And so you want to take in the local flavor, right? So you got to ask the locals. And the thing is, a lot of us now, we use the TripAdvisors, we use the Yelps, and we base everything we do on that, which a lot of times is good, but wouldn't you want to know from an actual local versus a lot of tourists just writing reviews?
No.
So make sure you take the time
I don't
to talk to the locals.
listen to
Don't make the mistake of ignoring
the annoying
them. Take in
Southern
their
local.
advice and learn, because you might find out that, oh yeah, you can actually go to this museum, it's free on Tuesdays, and you can go.
What fucking local has the ability to go to museums? This is a different tax bracket than I'm used to. Anyone that I know is like working 12-hour shifts, has no time to do anything, doesn't want to be out past a certain time. They want to go home, they want to sleep and get ready for their job. They don't go to restaurants, they don't go to museums, they don't travel their own city, their own state. They don't have time for that.
Get really good food here, and they've got actually free beer samples over there. I'm like, free beer? Hold on. Because honestly, if you go to Ybor City in Tampa, you want to make sure that you get the right Cuban sandwich when you go, because you got to order it the right way when you're down there. And the locals will help you out with that. Now, another mistake I see, and I've talked about this in other videos, but I think it's important to talk about again, is the mistake of not tipping. Look, I would say not tipping and then giving some excuse. In the US, servers, bartenders, waiters, waitresses, they make their living off of tips. You are not going to change the system by saying,
but we should try and change it. The system is ass. The system sucks. If a restaurant can't pay them minimum wage or more, they shouldn't be a restaurant. In the US, military recruits go to middle and high schools. That's where they go.
I don't agree with tipping. This is wrong. I will never tip. They should get paid more. This is me saying that they should get paid more. I'm not going to support those business owners that are doing that. Look, you're not doing that. All you're doing is being cheap, okay? You like the food, how it's cheap in the U.S. Well, part of that is because they don't have to put on the service charge and pay the waiters and stuff as much, and so they have lower food prices.
No, it's also because they cut corners. They cheap out. They don't. They make everything unhealthy, so everything's cheaper. That's not.
So therefore, it's up to you to tip. So 15 to 20% when you go to a sit-down restaurant, that's a typical tip in the U.S., okay? So don't make the mistake of not tipping, because I guarantee if you go back to that same restaurant, they'll remember you. So I'll leave Cheyenne here, and let's go see more beautiful parts of the U.S. So continuing on with our mistakes that tourists make in the U.S., we're here in Atlanta, Georgia, and my next mistake I have for tourists is they don't buy the package when they buy their plane tickets. Look, your insurance back home may only cover your insurance back home. Make sure you have insurance for your trip, not just in case the trip gets canceled, but also for health insurance purposes, because health insurance and health issues in the U.S. are crazy expensive. You need to go to the ER, you could be out a few grand, okay?
A few grand? More like a few $100,000. Is a grand 1,000 or 100,000? Because you'll probably be out a few hundred. Or if you're lucky, maybe 10,000.
A lot of times when you buy international tickets, they'll give you the option to get extra insurance when you do that. Make sure you pick it up, or talk to your insurance provider back home to see if your insurance will be working there. Because, man, I mean, having a few $1,000 bill on your credit card can be a bit tough, okay? So just have a heads up for that. Another mistake I see tourists make is they don't sign up for the loyalty programs. Look, here in the US, we love our loyalty programs. Yes, I'd love to collect my miles so I can get a free flight. Yes, I would love to collect my hotel stay so I can get a free night in a hotel. Yes, I'd love a free upgrade because I'm a member of this program. Or my personal favorite, hey, if I'm a member of your hotel thing, I get free internet? Yes, yes you do. So make sure if you're going to be coming to the US and you're going to travel around, sign up for those loyalty programs. Maybe you're going to be Hilton Honors or Marriott or IHG, whatever.
How rich do you think we
are? For
are?
2 weeks, it adds up very quickly, and so you might get a night or two for free in a hotel, or an upgrade to a nicer room, or free waters, or free.
That's like hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to reach those levels. I am not the tax bracket to watch this.
Wi-Fi, it does make a difference. And the thing is, those loyalty programs, it's not just for Delta Airlines and Marriott hotels. No, they have that for stores and restaurants and things like that. So make sure you do sign up for those to get the benefits, okay? Because those little benefits add up over time to make a big thing. It's another mistake we see is people don't look for the deals or just ask about the deals. Look, there's going to be coupons for all kinds of stuff you go to
Not
here
anymore.
in the U.S.
No.
For example, we went to the Georgia Aquarium, one of the best aquariums in the world here in Atlanta.
Coupons are basically dead nowadays. Only thing that really exists are like apps giving you discount. Coupons, basically dead. Or if they exist, it's like maybe $1 or $2 off. Coupons, nah, they ain't what they used to be.
Okay, and we went there, and they're like, wait, it's almost 4 o'clock. Why don't you go buy your ticket online and you can save $10? I'm like, wait a minute, I'm here in line, wanting to pay you right now. They're like, no, go on your phone and buy it there and you can save money. I'm like, I didn't.
The employees told you that? They must suck at their job. Because why would they not want the extra money? Why would they not want the extra money? I feel like they probably got reprimanded after that.
Know that. That's why it's important to look,
they probably got
but
in
also
trouble.
It's very important to ask, do you have any specials? Do you have any deals? Are there any discounts? Because there really are a lot here in the U.S. It can be a Groupon kind of thing. You can do that. I know, even if you're ordering pizza.
I want donuts.
Let's say you got a family. Oh, we just need one large pizza. That's $19.99. Well, what you should do is ask, hey, do you have any specials today? And they might have, well, we have 2 medium pizzas for $10.
Yeah, probably
right?
that.
That's a lot better deal.
Probably for
Little
data.
things like that, they're all over the U.S. If you're here in the summer,
greens.
your can of Coke might have a discount to a Six Flags or an amusement park.
What? Why would a can of Coke have a discount to an amusement park? Where are you traveling? Where are you going?
So you do those things to kind of save a little money. And as tourists, when they come to the U.S., they might not know about these things. So make sure you're looking, and also make sure you ask. Your hotel might have discounts yourself. Hell, this restaurant behind me here, we got a 10% discount because our hotel knows the people. They gave us a card because we asked. So make sure you do that. And the last mistake I want to talk about here in Atlanta,
fried chicken.
I'm here in Atlanta, and you think Atlanta, Georgia, it's hot, it's humid, it's horrible. Well, yes, in July and August, but not in January, and not in February or December or March. Or look,
Huh?
yes, I'm here in Atlanta, and you think Atlanta, Georgia, it's hot, it's humid, it's horrible. Well, yes, in July and August, but not in January, and not in February or December or March. Or look, the mistake is
seasons exist. Do they forget seasons exist? I wasn't paying attention. All I can think about is chicken sandwich. Yeah. All I think about is chicken sandwich. Do people not know seasons exist? What do you mean? Like, of course it's gonna be cold in January, February. What?
choose the
That's
wrong
common
times
sense.
to visit different places in the U.S.
Seasons.
You really need to look and make sure, is that a good time to visit? So for example,
Seasons.
Atlanta. In the summer, when it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius and a bajillion% humidity, it's not fun here. I'm not going to lie to you. This town is awesome, but not when it's freaking 100 degrees and 100% humidity, okay? So you think about it. If you're
Nowhere's good in the summer. Everywhere sucks in the summer. What? It's not an exclusive thing.
in the southeast, hurricane season from July to November. Minnesota is a gorgeous state to visit, but do you want to go there in February when
I would love to go to Canada in the winter. Like, the running joke in my family is that I should live in, as when I was a kid, they would say I would live in Alaska and still wear shorts. That is the joke in my family. Is I'm so hot-blooded because even in winter, when it was snowing, I would still wear shorts out because I'm so hot-natured. Even in the winter, I still burn up. So I would love to visit Canada in the winter. I would love to. Because I love cold areas. I need snow. Elephant.
it's freezing cold and lots of snow? I mean, these are things you got to think about. And the thing is we get tempted to go.
Seasons are so intense in America. Like, one day it's snowing. I'm pretty sure it was hailing this week. And at the same time, 100 degrees. So we have snow and rain and heat. We had like a heat advisory and hail. Seasons are intense in the States.
Go to places because we get a cheap airline ticket, but you might not get as much bang for your buck if you go there in the wrong time of the year. That's why it's important to look at the seasons. One of the mistakes I see a lot of people make is they go to Disney World between Christmas and New Year's. That is the busiest time of the year. That is like the worst time to go because they don't know. So make sure you're.
What do you mean they don't know? How is that not common sense? Seasonal holidays are going to bring seasonal events, seasonal people off work, busy locations. How is that not common sense? That feels like a common sense thing to do. Like, I'm planning on going to a different country. I'm looking up every single holiday they have. I'm looking up every single month what the weather's like. Even months I know I'm not gonna be there for, but like I should still know what the weather's like. I should still know what national holidays are when everyone's off work, what the work days are like. That feels like common sense to look up those things when you go somewhere. What?
Checking to make sure that you have the right times to visit places because they make a big difference. Anyway, let's leave Atlanta and go to someplace a little more rural out there to enjoy some more of the U.S. And some of the mistakes we all make when we come visit. So now we're here in Jackson, Wyoming, and my next mistake that I see tourists make when they come visit the U.S. is they don't pay attention to their surroundings. I know if you watch the news, it seems like that there's something bad happening everywhere in the U.S. all the time, and that's just not the case. Okay, the U.S. in general is a very safe place to visit, and you'll have a great time, and you really won't have to worry.
Not if you're a minority, it's not.
Too much, but that doesn't mean you don't need to pay attention when you're walking around cities or you're exploring national parks. You do need to be aware of your surroundings because that magic fanny pack doesn't protect you here either, okay? So make sure you're paying attention when you're going to your hotel. Ask them, hey, are there any parts of town I shouldn't be going to or I should avoid if you're going to be out exploring?
Why would they tell you the truth? Something I always think about is people who like ask like employees, oh, what's wrong with this? What should I avoid this? Should I not do this? Like when it comes to like things that would, I don't get why you think employees would tell you the truth. In my opinion, I remember this is not really on topic. I remember a family member asking about, oh, is this phone better or is this phone? Like they're always gonna choose the phone that is better for them if they're paid on commission whichever one their store is promoting. So like, I don't really understand asking people those things.
Going to the national parks and stuff like
Because
that.
they're not gonna want to make their town seem bad if they rely on tourists. They're not gonna want to do that.
You know what? They say don't go off the path for a reason. It could be rattlesnakes, it could be bears, it could be, you know, just for safety's sake.
That is a huge
Just
bear.
make sure you are paying attention to your surroundings. And if you're looking at hotels, you find hotels that are super, super cheap compared to the other places that you're finding, there might be a reason for that. So do make sure you're paying attention. Now, since I'm here in Jackson, I probably have to mention something about the national parks, because Grand Teton National Park is right up there, and Yellowstone National Park is just a little bit farther north of here.
Never been
to
the state.
Tourists make, if you're going to be going exploring a lot of the National Park Service sites around the U.S., make sure you pick up the America the Beautiful pass. Basically, it's a year-long pass that lets you in.
Is the one that has the president? Was that real? But if you go to national park, watch out for people living there, or people trying to kill you, or kidnap you, or assault you. That's my advice to watch out for, not to get passes, just to keep an eye out.
You know, sites and parks and national monuments and stuff like that. And if you go to 2 or 3, it really pays for itself, and it makes life so much easier when you have it. So don't make the mistake of not getting that, especially if you're going to be out here in the northwest of the U.S., which has a lot of really beautiful national parks that you can go and enjoy. But honestly,
I don't really
it can help
find
out
those
anywhere you go. Now, another mistake I see tourists make when they come here, and there's some restaurants behind me here which made me think of this, is don't make the mistake of not asking for a doggy bag. Look, a doggy bag is when you have the extra food after you eat, you can take it home. Because I'll be honest, a lot of places...
Who calls it a doggy bag? It's takeout. Ask for a takeout box. Just, hey, I've got leftovers. Can I get a box to go? I feel like I'm being so harsh because I disagree with them so much already.
The portions they give you are enough for 2 people. I mean, that's why I weigh as much as 2 people, because I eat 1 American serving, which is the biggest 2 normal person servings. So don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy to ask for a doggy bag or a to-go bag or a to-go box and take it back to your hotel, microwave it, heat it up,
Why would you be embarrassed? You paid for it.
Because you will get a lot of food. So I have seen a lot of tourists going, well, we don't ask for doggy bags where I'm from. I'm like, well, you're in the U.S. now. It's totally okay. And some of those places might actually throw in you some more bread rolls or something like that as well. So why not get 2 meals
paid
you
for?
Stuff when well, just pay for 1 meal, but actually get 2 out of it, okay? Now, another mistake I see tourists make, it's when it comes to driving. And I know in my don'ts videos and shocks video, I talk about the distances, so I'm not going to talk about that. What I am going to talk about are the little driving nuances in the U.S. that sometimes travelers don't notice or don't know. One thing you'll see is in some places, not everywhere, like in New York you can't do this, or New York City you can't do this, but turning right on a red. In a lot of places in the U.S., you actually can turn right on red. If there's no traffic coming and if it's safe, you can go. It's almost like a yield when you're taking a right turn. Now, it's not everywhere, so you need to have a heads up for that. And some places will have a special sign saying, no right turn on red.
Right.
But that is some things that sometimes you might be sitting there waiting to turn red, and people might honk at you, and you're like, what? The light's red. That could be one of the reasons why. Also, another thing, left lane driving. Look, if you're on the highways, if you're slower, you stay to the right, you pass in the left lane. I know this is how it is in a lot of countries, but it seems like when people travel, they forget that. Now, another mistake I have for you here in Jackson is don't make the mistake of believing all the stereotypes you hear about the U.S. Okay?
Maybe do.
I know you think everyone in the U.S. eats a pound of bacon for breakfast and then goes shoots their gun in the afternoon.
I mean,
that's not the
pretty
case.
accurate.
I mean, it's not everybody from California is a surfer dude, and everybody that's from the Southeast is a redneck, and everybody from New England is so prim and proper, and the Midwesterners are all shucksy. Yes, there's a lot of stereotypes out there about the U.S. And one of the things I always tell people, go travel and meet the people on your own, because it doesn't matter if you're in the Pacific Northwest or the Southeast, the Northeast, the Midwest, or wherever in the U.S. Americans are actually super friendly people. And they're going to want to help you. They're going to want you to go see these things. They're going to want you to know more about their country and see more of their region. And
this is 2020. This is 2020. This is so fun to look at in 2016. For at least in my opinion, Southerners are very unfriendly. They are very conservative, Christian, very unhappy seeing foreigners. And especially in the year 2026, people are not very happy seeing people come to our country. So, I would say that these stereotypes, at least for the South, I can't speak for anywhere else, are getting truer and truer by the day.
Gonna give you the helpful tips about, hey, this is where you want to go eat, this is not the place to go eat, because they're the ones they're gonna hook you up with a really good local food. So make a friend with some of those locals.
They don't want you to cause a line
When you do drive around, and don't believe the stereotypes, except for the friendliness, because there really are a lot of friendly Americans. So that's what I have from Jackson. Let's go see another beautiful part of the U.S.
One of the big mistakes that I see people make when they come to the United
Have you been to
States is that
Georgia?
they just come here and they go to the big cities, New York, LA, Chicago, Atlanta.
That is the correct way. That is, in my opinion, the best way. Because, like, the smaller cities, unless you're moving here, there's not much, there's no real reason to go there. Like, there's no reason to go to, like, some small town just to experience the culture. If you want to see big cities, go to, like, Houston, LA, go to Houston and LA. You'll still get the American experience and probably a better experience, if we're being real. You'll probably get a better experience than if you go to, like, random rural towns.
Cities with a whole lot to offer you, but nearby those big cities are smaller towns.
Yeah.
If you're not checking those.
Jacksonville, Florida. Oof. Yeah, small towns are not are not built for foreigners. Not recommended as someone who is in a small town. They would not. They hate to see foreigners move here, travel here. Yeah. It makes no sense. If you go to a big city, you will probably get a better experience of the state and the country. Small towns are small for a reason. There's not shit to do. So if you want to go to LA, go to LA. Don't go to random California cities. It ain't worth it.
You're missing out on some really great programming, small town festivals, and
who gives a shit about programming and festivals? If they want to see, like, tourist events, let them.
Really good Americana. For instance, not too far outside Atlanta is the Elder Mill Covered Bridge. It's in this lovely area, and we're only an hour and a half away.
It looks
we went to a
ugly.
really great farmers market yesterday that had all sorts of arts and things. So just by leaving those big cities for just a day to see,
they have those things in big cities too. They have farmers markets in big cities. They have events in big cities. Arguably more in big cities because more people are there. There's more people to host events.
Something interesting, you'll find a whole new side of America. Related to that,
not the side you want to see.
Of not getting off the interstate. You come here, you have to drive in America to really see it all, to get a real good flavor of what there is. But when you do that, you tend to get on the interstate and you go from point A to point B. Get off the interstate.
No.
Get off the interstate, get on a back road, get on a highway that's like kind of like a Route 66 kind of.
That's a good way to end up on the side of the highway with no gas, no signal, no service, and no passerbyers. That's a good way to get stranded. Don't just go onto some random road you've never looked up. Yeah. I don't like driving. My car is not working, so I don't have much options in the matter. But in America, you kinda don't have much other options.
when you're going from
Unless you just don't
Chicago
leave
to
the
LA,
house.
and you get to see these small towns and get a whole new flavor of the United States. You'll
Ugh.
discover a lot of hidden beauties as you come around this great country of ours on the back roads. And as you're going from one state to the other, there are often visitor centers, especially if you're on the interstate, but sometimes on the back roads there'll be a small kiosk and stuff with all sorts of information about nearby activities, whether it's outdoor stuff, hiking, biking, things like that, or festivals, or just great places
it's fine,
to
I
eat and
guess.
sleep.
I
There are
guess
all sorts
welcome
of
things
things
are
that you can
okay.
stop on the road and see something new. So you'll find a lot of different stuff to do in a lot of different states. And I hope that when you come here to the US, you'll get out and explore some of the small things on the small state highways and things, and not just the big stuff.
I don't recommend doing that. Figure out what you want to see before you come here. If you want to see mountains, find mountains. If you want to see good food, find good food. If you want to see the most popular things, see those. Don't go to some random 1,000-person town. Don't do it. Until next time, bye-bye.